Hello and good morning, afternoon, and evening to whatever hell time you watch this video. It is Wednesday, September something or other, 4th. Yeah, okay. I don't even know what to say. The stories are just piling on. I can't remember everything because I don't have a head that works that way. But I gotta say something once in a while, just to get it off my chest. Maybe a couple of you hear me, get an idea, understand what the hell I'm talking about. Let's start with our wonderful mayor here in New York City, Deblasio, the guy who put in 7 hours the whole month of May running the city. Which, to be fucking honest with you, May was probably the month the city ran the smoothest all year, more than likely. What does he want to do? He wants to eliminate the gifted programs for schools because they're not diversified enough. They're not diverse. Not enough of everybody. But if the gifted schools are for the smartest of the children, how do you diversify? You can't say you're going to have it. It's just the top of the top. Whatever they are, they are. If 100% of them are black, then that's what the hell it is. If 100% of them are white, if 100% of them are Asian, whatever it is, it is. But it's not diversified enough. There's not enough people of color. Only Asians and white. So apparently Asians they're white too, apparently, because they're not considered people of color, apparently. So they want to eliminate the programs. Does that seem like it's going to help anyone? Anyone. Who's it going to help? Instead of saying, okay, because this is why politicians suck. Because they're all fucking lazy, and that's why they're politicians. Because they don't know how to work. They can't work. President Trump, say what you want. The guy works his ass off. So, but instead of saying, how do we improve the education for the minority classes that aren't getting into these programs? How do we help them? No. Let's do nothing for them, and let's hurt the ones that are busting their ass, staying home, studying, don't go out and play to study, don't play video games to study. Let's go after them. So let's tell the youth of America, work hard, and you get the same thing as the people who don't work at all, which is basically the socialist plan. There it is, in a nutshell. So maybe the next time the election comes along and this fucking big bird is running for mayor, maybe he'll finally smarten the fuck up and not vote for him. How he got the second term is beyond me. How Cuomo got his last term is beyond me. That being said, let's shift over real quick to global warming, climate control, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay? Now, they want to keep pounding us with this climate control. 20 years from now, the planet's going to be like this. 30 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, this is what the planet's going to look like. You couldn't tell me 24 hours ago where this fucking hurricane was going to hit. You're going to tell me what the climate's going to be 50 and 100 years from now? Are you fucking kidding? And you think we're going to believe you? Well, apparently a lot of them believe you because they're still on this bullshit. One reporter apparently was born in the Caribbean, started spewing off all this stuff about. Now remember, I made this video, one of my earlier videos, when I was talking about climate change. And I told you, growing up in the 70s, the climate scientists of the time, all right, was saying We're entering another ice age. There's an ice age coming. 15 years later, the fuck is the ice age? Now we'll get warmer. You don't know what you're talking about. None of you do. You can say what you want. The 97% climate scientist myth, and that's what it is a myth, because it comes from one study. That one study was of climate scientists that work mostly for organizations that require the climate to be screwed up. Otherwise, they don't have a job. It was only 178 scientists. That 97% of scientists. It's not 97% of all scientists. The left, the liberals, the media, they tell you what they want. What they want you to hear. They don't tell you the truth. It's 97% of the 178 people studied. And of that 97%, not all of them said, oh no, it's definitely a factor. The question that was asked, the way it was asked is, could it be possible? And then they said, yes. 97% of all climate scientists think the world's coming to an end. That's how they get you. That's how the news gets you. They leave out little things. They leave out little facts. They tell you what they want you to know. They tell you what their agenda is. They manipulate the story to tell you what that is. So yesterday, apparently some genius found, they were talking about the Second Amendment. And now we had this shooting in Texas. So right away, the Democrats are up in arms, gun control, gun confiscation. Joe Biden wants to take away magazines that hold multiple rounds. That's what he said. You heard me correctly. Not many rounds. Wants to take away magazines that hold multiple rounds. So now, according to Joe Biden, your magazine capacity cannot exceed one bullet. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. But then, yesterday, 3 people basically either shared or came up with the same post about 8 people dying, getting killed, murdered in Chicago, and 70 people or 79 people wounded. And my response to everyone was, well, then Chicago should have better gun control. Oh wait, never mind, because they don't tell you the place where the least legal citizens own weapons to defend themselves is the place where the higher crimes are. They don't tell you when gun sales went up 60% in the United States over a 10-year period, the crime rate went down. They don't tell you in Australia when they had the forced buyback, they didn't tell you how all the crime went up. Oh well, yeah, murder, gun-involved murders was down. Well, what about other murders? Oh yeah, well those were still happening and at a little higher rate. Then they had a problem where they never really had before. Home invasion. Because the criminals know if you don't have a gun, it's illegal for you to have a gun, your house is an easy target. Now I don't need to sneak in when you're out with your wife having dinner or when you're away on vacation. You're unarmed. I'm a criminal. I'm not following the law. I'm armed. Even if it's with a machete. I'm armed. And I'm coming in. But they don't, that's, no. That's neither here nor there. It's one thing after another. They just want control. The left wants control. I saw a tweet, somebody was tweeting about burning the American flag as free speech. Burning something is not free speech. Free speech is you being able to speak your mind, even if it's against or the opposite of what the government is saying. That's basically what it's about. So if you disagree with the government, you have the right to speak your mind and not have to worry about being jailed for it. That's not happening in Europe now. The Marxists are starting to take over there now. Some of the countries are smartening up. Poland, well, not Poland. Poland never fell for that shit. Italy, they're starting to wise up. The people in France, they're wising up to what's going on. They see what's happening over there, and we see what's happening over there. I remember 3-4 years ago, they were having a big protest in England, in London, and people were carrying signs, giant, big-ass signs. USA, don't let them take your guns away like they did to us. They don't tell you that every fascist, communist, every regime looking to fuck over their people, the first thing they did was went after the guns and took the guns. Do you think the Jews in Warsaw, the ghettos of Warsaw, would have been taken so easily if they were all armed? No. At least they would have had a fighting chance. You get, I think it was Beto O'Rourke. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Beto O'Rourke. But regardless, this is how the media sucks. This is how the media is biased. If Trump said this, the media would have reacted different. But because Beto O'Rourke or some other dumbass Democrat said it, not one reporter said this to that politician. If I was a reporter, this would have been my response. This is what he said. When asked about the Second Amendment being the citizens' right to defend themselves against a tyrannical government, he says, well, you think an AR-15 or you think civilians are going to go against the military, and we have nuclear weapons. What's a rifle going to do against a nuclear weapon? Not one reporter said, wait a minute. You're running for president of the United States. Did you just not tell the people of the United States that if you were president and you decided to take the weapons away from American citizens and they resisted, did you just say you're going to cause a genocide and use nuclear weapons on U.S. soil? No? Not one reporter. Not one reporter was smart enough to put two and two together and say, holy shit, this guy just said that he would use nuclear weapons on U.S. soil if people didn't give up their guns. This is what I mean about the media, the fake news. When Trump says the news is fake, he's not being hyperbolic. He's telling you. And all you have to do is open your eyes and see it. Watch a story. Look at a story. Find out the facts of the story. And then see how the media reports that same story. That's all you have to do. And your eyes will open. You'll be like, holy shit, I can't believe this is what they're doing. It's the same thing with the climate scientists. It's the same thing. Did one person ever ask these fucking climate specialists that are telling you what's going to happen in 50 years, hey, let me ask you a question. In the history of this planet, did we have multiple ice ages? Well, yes, we did. So we've had more than one ice age. Well, yeah, that's a fact. Okay, so what happened with those ice ages? Why aren't we freezing our asses off right now? Well, the planet got warmer. Oh, yeah. The planet got warmer. From fossil fuel burning? It just got warmer. On its own. By itself. No help from human beings at all. Well, a lot of the ice ages happened when there were no human beings on the planet. So let me get this right. I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. I'm not smart like you. I'm a dummy. So let me get this right. The weather got cold, and then got colder, and then got colder, And then we had an ice age, and glaciers formed, and it got colder, and it got colder, and then it got warmer, and then it got warmer, and then it got warmer, and then the ice age, the glaciers receded, went back, and it got warmer, and it got warmer, all by itself. Yeah, no help from nothing, no, just on its own. And we know that's not happening now. We know we're not in the warming period. We know we had a mini ice age in the 1700s into the 1800s. We know that. And we know a warming that's occurred after that to get us to where we are now. So you know for a fact this isn't a natural warming that would have happened whether we were here or not. You don't know that for a fact because, like I said, you can't tell me where that fucking hurricane yesterday is going to hit today. People, think for yourselves. It's not difficult. It's simple. Just listen to what these politicians and news people are telling you. Everything. What if I told you? What if I said? What if my conclusion was the reason we're having all these mass shootings now is because everybody thinks the world is coming to an end and the country is doomed because the news is lying to the people and telling them that's what's happening. And people just can't take it anymore. And they're like, well, if the world's coming to an end, I might as well shoot up a bunch of people and get killed in the process. Is that just as fucking possible? My theory seems a little sounder than your theory. I'm not saying I'm right. It's a theory. But I'm admitting it's a theory. I'm not saying it's fact like you do with your theories. You just say, this is what it is. Sick of you all. Not you people. Most of you people. I'm sure some of you people don't like what I'm saying, but fuck you. Bye!